twice more in the first half of 2011. Benchmark 10-year US Treasury yields have jumped to 377, the highest since April, following yesterday's weaker than expected savings for 3 years. Attention now turns to Fed Chief Bernanke, who testifies before Congress at 1500 GMT. Bond auctions in the US and Germany could weigh on the market, keeping yields high and investors nervous. Germany auctions 5 billion euros of 5-year bonds later on today. Vincenzo Albano has been analysing the relative value of the 5-year bubble to the curve. Vincenzo, is it rich or cheap?
Well, we think that the 5-year bubble, in our opinion, is rich despite trading at its highest yield since November 2009. Its basis is expensive and shorter bonds offer more attractive asset swap spreads. This curve is in fact inverted. In addition, the curve is further flattening with a 5-2-year spread at its lowest since April 2009. All those factors make shorter bonds more attractive than the current 5-year, which again we find somehow rich.
Well, what about the 10-year US Treasury? Is it going to touch 4%, Vincenzo?
Well, the pressure is increasing there too. Recent comments on the merits of EU2 from Fed officials and the unresolved issue of the debt ceiling will result, of course, in further steepening of the curve. Back to you, Axel.
Vincenzo, many thanks for that. In corporate news, this just through, UK banks agree to increase gross business lending to about £190 billion and provide more pay disclosure of top earners. That is according to sources, and that's just through, as mentioned. Sanofi Aventis in the corporate world says talks with Genzyme progressing after posting forecast-beating Q4 earnings. The shares fell after the pharma giant gave a cautious outlook for 2011. Shares in Syngenta getting a lift after it posts forecast-beating 2010 numbers and says it'll outperform peers this year. The group is also launching a $200 million share buyback program. We've also had some M&A news. London Stock Exchange has agreed to join forces with the Toronto Stock Exchange in a merger of equals. Reuters equities analyst Richard Muller says it's a good move.
In terms of liquidity and trading volumes, this would position them very well to be a very big player in terms of mining, energy, and resources. So overall, a good transaction, and it does help them to address the competitive pressure that they're experiencing in the industry.
LSE also says it's going to be looking at other opportunities in the Asian markets. That's it. Coming up on Inside, we're going to talk to ex-MPC members Tim Bestie and Dan Julius at the Fathom Monetary Policy Forum in London. That's as the Bank of England kicks off its 2-day rate setting meeting. Stay with us for updates on the hour. I'm Axel Kroll, this is Reuters.